Thank you for attending today's Development Strategy meeting of Devil's Corral in beautiful Idaho, USA. My name is Deborah Lang with AP Consulting. All of us who have been working closely with George Panagiotou are so excited and thrilled about the overwhelming natural assets of Devil's Corral and its potential. From the incredible canyon views to the volcanic rock, Devil's Corral would be an exciting place to call home. Its proximity to a healthy, clean environment and exciting outdoor adventures provides an eco-balanced lifestyle right out your back door. Development programs include Devil's Canyon Lodge, private single homes, and rim lots to tiny homes and condos, an equestrian and entertainment center, and outdoor extreme sports. I won't spoil all of your fun. Let me introduce Bill Baker, Vice President, and he also oversees environmental activities. Bill had a 35-year career with the Bureau of Land Management and is presently the manager of Baker Environmental Consulting. Welcome, Bill.
Thank you all. Good afternoon. First, I would like to thank everyone for attending today and allowing us to visit with you. And second, I want to thank Jerome Country Club and Caddyshack for helping us out on this, and George's better half, Teddy, who put together this wonderful refreshments for you, including caviar. Please enjoy yourself through this presentation and afterwards with that. So, is Teddy here? So, where'd she go? Okay. And third, I'd like to recognize Governor Bush Otter. Good afternoon, sir. And I believe you have to leave at 4:30 or soon?
We're pretty tight.
Okay. Well, it's
got to be a fast salesman.
okay. Throughout my life and career, I've had the opportunity to visit and manage a variety of unique places. I found that they are typically some distance from communities and our homes, and we have to make a concerted effort to get to them. I've also found that they are typically undeveloped or underdeveloped, so you're required to create your own experiences. Devil's Corral is not a large expanse. It's 200 acres of private property. It has 2 streams, 2 canyons, a lake, and an island, and it's adjacent to a public park in the Snake River. Devil's Corral, at its unique location, is where you can spend days enjoying all of its qualities and amenities without much time to get there, because Devil's Corral is only a few miles from the cities of Jerome and Twin Falls, 3 miles from the Prime Bridge, and near such renowned places as Shoshone Falls, thus making it easily accessible to include in your plans for the afternoon, the day, or the week for you, your family, and your friends, and also those ecotourists that are going to be passing through Magic Valley. The current semi-arid desert appearance of Devil's Corral started millions of years ago between volcanic activity and the North American plate moving west across southern Idaho. Then came weathering and fracturing of the primary materials of rhyolite and basalt. More recently, especially through water erosion and the Bonneville flood, the canyons we see today were formed, where the rhyolite, being very hard, withstood much of the impacts, and the basalt, which was relatively soft, eroded away, making the panoramic scenery and the canyons we all love. More recently, the area was used by Native Americans, immigrants to the coast, Chinese miners, settlers of Magic Valley, and the like. Part of the mystique also led us to the area being used as a hideout for horse thieves. However, the history of the area is relatively young as compared to other parts of our country and the world. Use of the area long ago was by large mammals such as mammoths, bisons, camels. Now it's deer and antelope. You may even see, if you're lucky, a mountain lion down there, and on some occasion, the wandering moose or elk. Therefore, the area is important in terms of natural systems and processes, historic, cultural, and scenic values, and fish and wildlife resources. Devil's Corral offers a year-round recreational and ecotourism opportunities, and also the development opportunities that other presenters will speak of later. Devil's Corral proper also offers the opportunity to enjoy and learn about the history of Magic Valley close up. From our eco-friendly development, such as the geologic wonders due to volcanic activity and the differing rock formations, the results of the Bonneville flood, nature and plants blossoming, especially in the springtime. The wildlife will continue to use the area year-round. High-quality springs originating on the property, forming a lake and then draining into the Snake River, and the scenic beauty that changes with the season, position of the sun and shadows during the day, and winter snows creating a dynamic landscape and viewshed. And that island that's there that is undisturbed due to its inaccessibility. With all this in mind, we intend to develop Devil's Corral while keeping the vast majority of the land in the condition it is today. Therefore, to preserve the natural beauty, especially that island. The plan is to develop an environmental friendly project utilizing the current best technologies while preserving the existing qualities through special management attention. These will blend in and emphasize the environment and structure and use. These will be included in the architectural design, placement of amenities, color schemes, the spring water quality, and even invasive plant control. And we believe this will be the first of its kind in magnitude in Magic Valley and possibly in the state of Idaho. With that, I'll turn it back to Deborah, and we will hold a question period at the end of our presentations. Thank you.
Next up is Don Campbell. Don is on the Devil's Corral Board of Directors. He looks incredibly young, but somehow has 30 years in his family-owned First Ascent Fish Farm and is presently the manager of Gemstone Development and Gemstone Climbing. Welcome.
Deborah, thank you very much, and thanks to all of you for attending. I'd like to start by expressing my gratitude and appreciation to George and Bill for the opportunity to work on this project. About 9 months ago, I was invited to a meeting to discuss water resource management and land uses of Devil's Corral. I really wasn't sure what their goals were, but the subject matter was intriguing. Over the next few months, as we discussed logistical hurdles and potential opportunities, the goals began to coalesce. And one of the things that stood out was George's vision of time and potential. George's heritage is Greek. His culture spans several thousand years. This provides him with a long-term view of history and our capabilities as people. As he pointed out, we have the opportunity to create history. Bill's background with BLM is community, education, and conservation, and working to achieve sustainable development with natural resource management. All of us here in this room recognize that Idaho and the Magic Valley is growing, tourist travel is increasing, and demand for varied recreational opportunities is putting pressure on our people and our natural resources. We are creating history. So the question is, what kind of a history do we want? We'd like to invite you to share our vision. Our vision is to balance market-linked, long-term solutions by conserving and enhancing biocultural diversity. We believe the best way to protect the natural resources of Devil's Corral, which is a unique and nearly spiritual island of private land 3 miles from the bridge and surrounded by over 8,000 acres of BLM and state ground. This is an exciting challenge, and it's not without precedent. Developments such as this and that which we present today have been built around the world and elsewhere in the United States. On the north side, with the help of BLM, various user groups have worked together to maintain these lands, and a general respect has developed between and among these groups. As a result, a wide variety of users have historically used this land without much conflict. And in talking with folks from BLM, this is somewhat unique to the Magic Valley. Users being aligned rather than at odds. So what are these activities? As Bill mentioned, Devil's Corral and the adjacent lands have been used for grazing, mining, and rustling. Today, horseback riding is common. The Thursday Sage Riders group have been ridden across BLM and state lands for decades and used Devil's Corral as a destination and a turnaround point for dirt bikes. ATVs, ORVs have been very popular in this area as it is replete with trails and great terrain for riding. Shooting too has been going on as a recreational activity. And although problems occasionally crop up, for the most part, shooters generally confine themselves to a few well-used areas. A mile hike down either canyon of Devil's Corral will take you from the parking area to the Snake River. Continuing along the river and back up through the Sister Canyon provides for a beautiful and striking 3-mile loop. Hiking activity has been increasing in Devil's Corral these last several years. And while not a popular place to fish because of access and declining spring flows, fishing was good in the past. Can flows increase and can a fishery be established? I am confident that they can. Both Devil's Corral and Vineyard Lake have been popular swimming holes for those hardy folks who didn't mind a short half-mile trek. And camping on these lands occurs year-round. It's common to find people in camp trailers, motorhomes, cars, and occasionally in a tent on these public and private lands. We will be establishing camping areas within Devil's Corral. And rock climbing, both bouldering and rope climbing, has been occurring for a number of years, and we expect use of these cliffs and boulders to increase with the advent of Gemstone Climbing Center in Twin Falls. And mountain biking is growing in popularity throughout the Magic Valley, and biking on the north side is no exception. And bike tracks down the trails of Devil's Corral are not unique. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the growing demand among the disabled for adaptive sports. Many of the sports mentioned here have their adaptive analogs, and more of the disabled are finding that they too can become participants. And so what other activities are being proposed? This is getting really cool. One of these is new to our area, and we're proposing adding a twist or two, enhancing enjoyment of this sport and others while providing better access to the resources of southern Idaho. These activities are gaining in popularity, and they include a via ferrata, or an iron pathway. A via ferrata is a cable-assisted or protected adventure trek along canyon cliffs. Some people call it horizontal hiking. These pathways can be narrow trails, such as the one you see here on the left, and they generally transition to more vertical terrain where a cable and some ironwork provide a protected path. Popular in many regions of Europe, these features are now being built in the United States, such as this one in Telluride, Colorado. And like Telluride, pathways such as this and those in the Snake River Canyon lead to some pretty spectacular cliff bands. By adding a safety cable and a waist harness and iron steps, we can provide the participant with a great hike and previously unimaginable views of Devil's Corral and the cliffs of the Snake River Canyon. The Via Ferrata concept combines adventure of climbing with the safety of hiking with a cable. Just to let you know, the Via Ferrata in Telluride, Colorado is 2.5 miles in length. Just about the same distance from Devil's Corral to the bridge. Base jumping is not new to the Magic Valley, nor is its sister sport, parasailing. Both are becoming more popular, and the Prime Bridge is a renowned national and international destination for these sports. So imagine a glass platform extending from the canyon rim 400 feet above the river, providing a spectacular view of the river and canyon, but also a jump-off point for base jumping and parasailing. Or one could consider melding the Via Ferrata concept with a glass floor, thus providing a cliffside hiking trail. The water slides envisioned here are only casually related to the slides of water parks. Devil's Corral contains a pristine spring water source of exceptional quality. Using a small portion of this water, we can create a series of slides snaking through and contouring with the canyon walls. Each segment will end in its own pool, allowing the participant the choice to stop and hike back to the top, or continue on with final splash adjacent to the Snake River. And zip lines as an adventure feature have been built throughout the world. The canyons of Devil's Corral allow one to fly from one side of the canyon to the other, wending one's way down to the river through a series of zipline features, providing a view generally only available to pilots and birds. And there's no reason to limit this activity to daylight hours, as Idaho's sunsets can be gorgeous. Now imagine, if you will, and this is not a dream, a powered zipline ride of nearly 1.25 miles in length. that at the end of your day, after hiking, climbing, riding, or ziplining, you may be tired and you just don't want to hike out. So after a refreshing beverage, climb aboard your own individually powered zip line, or relax in a chairlift for the ride as you return to the lodge or your car. However, you may choose to continue your adventure, enjoying the beauty of the Snake River Canyon by kayak, paddleboard, or canoe. You could also take our water shuttle back to Shoshone Falls Park. However you choose to complete your day, your experiences and adventures can leave you spiritually and mentally reinvigorated by having spent the day in the enchanting and magical canyons of Devil's Corral. Thank you very much for listening. Deborah, back to you.
Thank you, Don. Up next is Chris Reed, Vice President, Treasury Relationship Manager at Zions Bank and Unit Executive Leader of the local Boy Scouts of America.
Good afternoon. During the migration of families from farms to the city in the early 20th century of the United States, there were concerns among some that young men were no longer learning outdoorsmanship and patriotism. Chicago publisher W.D. Boyce was one of these individuals. On a trip to London in 1909, Boyce found himself lost in a foggy London street when an unknown scout came to his aid, guiding him to his destination. The young scout then refused Boyce's tip, explaining he was a Boy Scout and was merely doing his daily good turn. Interested in Boy Scouts, Boyce met with the staff at the Boy Scout headquarters in London, and upon returning to the United States, Boy Scouts of America was formed February 8, 1910. The Boy Scouts of America is one of the nation's largest and most predominant value-based youth development organizations. It provides a program for young people that builds character, trains them in the responsibility of participating citizenship, and develops personal fitness, both mentally and physically. Members range in age between 8 and 18. Area Scouts have been using Devil's Corral for a number of years now for the generosity of George, and between its proximity to Twin Falls and Jerome and the opportunities it provides, it is a perfect fit for our goals. Devil's Corral and its uniqueness provides a complement to the existing Boy Scout sites. Camp Bradley, located in the scenic Sawtooth Mountain near Stanley. Cub Scout day camps held in Kasia, Lincoln, and Twin Falls County Fairgrounds. Murtaugh Camp, located southeast of Twin Falls at Lake Murtaugh. I have had the privilege of being a part of the Boy Scouts of America since I was 8 years old. As a youth, I developed a love of the outdoors and the joy that comes from being outside. While serving as a scoutmaster a few years ago, my troop wanted to camp in Devil's Corral. I contacted George, and he graciously allowed us to camp there. Presently, at Devil's Corral, we can camp and hike. With what is planned, we will be able to expand the experience for the Scouts. George has also explained to us his desire to expand the use to such local groups as Girl Scouts, the Boys and Girls Club, Rising Stars Therapeutic Riding Program, and many others. We would welcome that with open arms, knowing with all of us working together, we can provide activities and opportunities for youth development like no other place. The only issue we have experienced so far has been poor access to the Snake River Canyon Park and George's private property with family-style vehicles. With that knowledge, we plan to work with other groups and Jerome County to ensure better access for family-style vehicles. If you have not had an opportunity to camp or hike Devil's Corral, I encourage you to plan a trip there, as it is one of the hidden gems of the Magic Valley. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Up next is Jeff Huff, Executive Director, Southern Idaho Economic Development Organization.
For many of you, this is the second time listening to me today, so bear with me. I recently returned, excuse me, I recently returned from an economic development training program in another state. And one of the things I heard from many of my counterparts there was we have a great quality of life. And to a certain extent, they're right, but also to the same extent, they're wrong. And that's what Devil's Corral will help us do. It will help us define what our quality of life is. Right now, the country is facing a shortage of workers, and recruiting talent is a priority for everyone. The trick being able to claim quality of life is to define what that is and then attract the people that respond to that quality of life that you're defining. Our quality of life here in the Magic Valley revolves around outdoor activities, something for everyone, from mild to wild. Currently, Southern Idaho is not necessarily a destination, but more of a pass-through. For tourists, we have some neat things to see and do, but nothing to keep them longer than a night, maybe two. Devil's Corral represents an opportunity to create a destination that can be used to attract individuals who enjoy outdoor pursuits and want variety in their exploits. Additionally, Devil's Corral provides an anchor point to help keep our young people from leaving. It represents opportunity, adventure, and possibility. The marketing buzz surrounding the development like this opens eyes, deepens pride, and understanding in the area. It is something everyone can brag about to their friends, neighbors, and family, both near and far. So when we talk about quality of life, we are talking about ease of access to hiking, biking, fishing, camping, hunting, all the activities that we have here, and of course, base jumping. We are looking for individuals who have a work ethic but have balance in their lives. We want individuals who don't like to sit still for very long and enjoy being outside without having to wait in long lines for adventure. Typically, these individuals are community-minded and willing to be involved in a variety of things, from coaching Little League to participating in committees to improve the area. They are socially responsible and environmentally conscious. For us to attract that type of individual to the area, we need to get on social media and point out the art scene, our downtown projects, and share photos of ourselves doing things that we enjoy and things that we will have access to in Devil's Corral. Hashtags such as Enjoy Idaho, Southern Idaho, and base jumping are useful to connect with the crowd, talking about the things that we wish to promote. So to sum it all up, Devil's Corral would be a fantastic opportunity to promote and turn Southern Idaho into a destination, not only for people to come visit, but for them to come, take their shoes off, and stay a while. It is this type of a project that helps differentiate our quality of life from everybody else that says we have a great quality of life. So I would welcome the opportunity to promote Devil's Corral and Southern Idaho and bring the talent that we need here to the area. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Last but certainly not least, we have George Panagiotou. George is the founder and president of Devil's Corral, LLC. He is an entrepreneur and inventor with many patents. George's entrepreneurial spirit is much like that of Devil's Corral's spirit. It is immersed in a bit of mystery, and like Devil's Corral, we all seem to be drawn to him. Welcome.
Thank you, Debbie. Deborah, I should say, not Debbie. As you can all guess, I am nervous. But let me start by saying, as my notes are helping me, greetings. It is with great pleasure to see everyone here as we unveil the mystery and tell you of our plans for Devil's Corral. Our plans are a goal for the future, and we think we can make it very successful with everybody involved. Thank you for being here. However, before I start on the strategy and the plans for Devil's Corral, I would like to talk a little bit, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and where I come from. As Deborah said, I am a mystery to many of you. Ever since I was a young boy, swimming and camping on the islands and the oceans of Greece, I had one dream. For one day to be an American. During my junior year in high school in Athens, my family received great news. An application to immigrate to America was approved. and the American embassy was going to give us a date where we could board the ship and come here. Coming to America was a dream that finally had become a goal. Unfortunately, 1 year later, my father passed away. We had to wait 2 more years for the visa to be approved. In the meantime, I went to college and I studied for 2 years engineering in Greece, more specifically shipbuilding engineering. When the time came, we dropped everything, and my mother and I boarded the cruise ship to New York City from Greece. In New York City, my mother's brothers picked us up, and we moved to Boston, where I had planned to go to school. When I signed up in college in Boston, I could speak 3 languages and a lot of Italian, but no English. So I had to concentrate and focus on learning how to communicate in the language of the land. I spent 16 years in Boston. After the second year there, I started my own business. And during that time, I was successful in inventing a revolutionary heat-free, high-intensity lighting system for the film industry. I moved to California to start a factory, to start building the system, where I had never been before. And I started a manufacturing company to produce the most pure, heat and radiation-free lighting system in the world for Hollywood. Hollywood returned the favor. And besides the wealth, it also rewarded me with 2 Oscar nominations and a Hollywood experience that I had never dreamed about as a child in Greece. In addition, my greatest rewards came when NASA informed me that my patented video and film lighting system was going to be aboard Space Shuttle STS-8 and be in space on August 30th, 1983. It was the first high-intensity light ever to go in space. In the year 2000, I purchased on-site or sight unseen 2 of the most magnificent properties in Magic Valley. After I bought them, I looked at the map to see what the heck Idaho was. After several trips to Idaho, I came to visit, and after I'd been here a couple of times, I realized that I had finally discovered where the American Spartans lived. And I fell in love with the people, the state, and my new acquisitions. Since my first visit, over 16 years have passed of planning and dreaming of what to do with these properties. The result of that dream is the phase 1 of this plan premiering here today. This plan is finally graduating from a dream to a goal. A goal is a dream with a date. And this goal is too big for me. Yes, I have searched and I have assembled the best talent anywhere to support me for this project. Bill Baker, Don Campbell, and Pal, Deborah, Norberto are just the ones present here today. Many more behind the scenes have helped assemble this goal into a tool for today and the future. These are people with passion, people with precision, expertise, and commitment. Each one represents exactly the knowledge to frame the foundation needed to build upon. But this talent is not going to be enough to launch the very ambitious project that I'm presenting to you here today. This is a multi-million-dollar project. It will require many experts and a lot of people. So, we will need all of you, yes, you, to be part of it, to come and help us with this project from start to finish. Let's all dream a little and bring our Idaho dream to a goal and to the finish line. Let's invent ecotourism for Jerome and for the Magic Valley. Ecotourism is on the rise all over the world, except in America. Today, everyone's interested in exploring our planet with minimum or no disturbance of our ecosystem. That's what ecotourism is. Idaho has been participating in practicing ecotourism for more than 100 years, subliminally, without calling it ecotourism. Well, let's call it what the world wants and bring the world here to enjoy it. What we are proposing today for Devil's Corral is to create here in Idaho the first ecotourist attraction in the country and bring people here from all over the world to experience Idaho, a natural, eco-friendly wonder. Luckily, Devil's Corral is located near 3 airports, Boise, Haley, and Twin Falls. This will be the only large health spa complex dedicated to all outdoor activities between Sun Valley and Las Vegas, Boise, and Salt Lake City. Just the metropolitan areas of these cities represent the population of over 5 million people. Once you are at Devil's Corral, you can roll out of bed and practice the activity of your choice by simply stepping out of your back door and into the 6,500-acre park, which is 14 miles in length. Yet, you can walk 3 miles from Devil's Corral to the bridge and go shopping, go to the movies, go to the restaurants, enjoy Twin Falls, enjoy an impressive city with its beautiful canyons, golf courses, and great people, the greatest people on earth. However, this is no place for old men. This will be the place for the old men to feel young, like Don Campbell. So here's a general strategy about the project. We recommend 4 phases. One is an equestrian center, a very large area of activities for outdoor performances. Tiny homes and condos, simple residences, a lodge and a health spa. A very large building will be the equestrian center, where we'll also host many activities relating to outdoor sports, animals, and auctions. On the rim will be the base jumping platform with tiny homes sprinkled between the equestrian center and the platform. The tiny homes can be residences, B&Bs, or rentals for the employees. A short distance away will be condominiums and more rental units. A sunken canyon, a very large canyon, will separate the equestrian and rental properties from the single homes and the health spa. The homes will provide an eco-balanced lifestyle. They will blend into the lava hills, invisible for most of the area, surrounded by lava and lava formations and trees. These will not be large, spacious homes with great large roofs and Grecian columns. They will be eco-friendly and energy efficient with lots of solar power and green power. To the east corner and about 200 feet below the canyon, on the very large plateau, will be the large health spa complex. These are examples of other lodges in the parks. However, these old lodges are not designed to support ecotourism, not one of them. They're all in our national parks, and they do not offer dedicated and complete choice of physical outdoor activities that exercise the body and heal the soul and make the mind stronger. The lodge at Devil's Corral will provide a perfectly eco-balanced experience to all visitors but it will not be inexpensive. The crystal clear water from the Devil's Corral Springs will constantly feed a